Good Friday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. So happy that you're here. Got a lot to talk about in terms of the weather. Let me show you what we're talking about. Visibility has been reduced in maybe parts of northeast Tennessee. There's some white patches just north of Greenville. Outside of that, visibility is not going to be much of an issue this morning. We do have temperatures, though, right now are in the 60s, very warm, and I would say a bit humid. A bit sticky for sure, with showers and thunderstorms, about a 60% chance still in the offering today here on a Friday. And it's going to remain unsettled for much of the weekend. We have 63 in Oak Ridge, 59 degrees this morning in Sevierville, and 60 in Crossville. Let's dive into the radar. Take a look at what's moving in from the west, because some light rain showers are in fact beginning to show up and populate across the plateau from Crossville to Jamestown. Not much going on in Knoxville. Knox County looks dry at the moment. Still some light rain trying to form there in parts of Scott County, maybe to the far west of sections of Campbell County, but much of that might not even be reaching the ground yet. Where we do see some darker green areas, maybe some light rain between, say, Jamestown, Allert, and Sunbright, maybe down towards Clark Range. We've got a couple of showers around Fairfield Glade in Crossville and maybe Lake Tansy. Some showers trying to form, and maybe a rumble of thunder potentially trying to form here in parts of say just south of Spartus. But that's basically what we're seeing at this point. Cleveland also getting some rain at this very hour, but we'll continue to watch this as we head forward in time. By the way, the Ultimate Doppler Radar presented by Marco's Pizza. If you're planning your lunch plans today, maybe you want to grab pizza, or maybe their great specialty. I call it the Pizzoli. They call it the Pizzoli. Marcos.com. If you got locations in Hardin Valley and Farragut, they're located in Maryville, Fountain City Halls, Oak Ridge, Middlebrook Pike, and Ebenezer Road. Doesn't this look delicious? Oh, Pepperoni Magnifico is magnificent. I can tell you I've had my fair share of those platters and those pizzas, but the Pizzoli, yesterday I had the pepperoni and sausage, and it was delicious. It is a lot bigger than it looks in the picture, but you got to grab it if you are on a thinking about mindset for lunch today on a Friday. By the way, the radar is showing more rain stretching across parts of the middle part of the state. There's also some light rain showers stretching from Monticello into southeast Kentucky, and it's headed toward the east. We'll keep an eye on that for sure. I want to say good morning to you if you're on the call. A big shout out to Fred. He says good morning, not looking forward to the rainy weekend. It may ebb and flow. We may see, as we see oftentimes with these warm fronts, Fred, that sometimes the rain can be either be very little or it can be too much, and it may not be equally distributed. So keep in mind, tonight's plans may be just as rainy or less than, because there are going to be possibly pieces of energy splitting. I'll talk more about that in a moment. Stephen Snyder says good morning. He's on here, and if you're on YouTube, let me know. I'd love to give a shout out. Marilyn Bell says happy Friday. Travel safe and enjoy your weekend. One of the benefits of doing it on YouTube, I've discovered from the likes of Diane Ladyhawk. She puts it on her, I guess her Fire Stick, puts the YouTube on the TV, so the numbers look a little bit bigger on her television. That's another way to look at it. If you have to squint on your cell phone to look at it on your smartphone, I can't see the numbers. It might be easier, in fact, to put it on this big screen. By the way, the radar is showing more showers across middle and west Tennessee. We've got some flooding concerns, it would appear, in red. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's over here toward Missouri. So they've got flash flood warnings in Stoddard County, Missouri until 6 o'clock Central. So this has had a history of flooding rains. And you want to talk about rains, they've had quite a bit of storminess from Houston to parts of Louisiana, and it's still raining across parts of southern Mississippi, now sliding back into parts of Florida. It would appear that they've got some severe thunderstorm warning, I should say, in Franklin County, Florida. That runs until 7 a.m. Central, Eastern time. Keep in mind, they do have their split in time zones. Meanwhile, radar shows more showers across parts of Michigan and also in Minnesota, but that's the big picture as a whole. The bigger question is, how much rain can we anticipate? So instead of showing you just one particular slide, I'm going to show you a couple here in just a mere moment. I want to say hi to you, good morning to you. If you got a note, let me know. I have noticed that we hit 81 yesterday. Expecting 80, but we did hit 81. Started off the morning at 61. Normal high and low this time of day of this year, this day of the year is 79. Normal low is 57. We did hit 92 degrees on this day in 1962, and our record low this morning is 39 from 1984. So as it gives you some context. If you're on YouTube, I'd love to say hi to you like I did Marilyn. And if you're on Facebook, let's pop over here and take a look at Facebook. I got Melissa Sill saying good morning, everybody. She's got 2 virtual cups of coffee. Wanda says, keep the umbrella handy. Thank you, David. Have a good weekend. I think that's good advice to have. Just keep the umbrella. Keep it in the car. if it helps, because I think we're going to find another wave of this coming in on Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, with the approaching cold front, which is a little easier to time rather than that red line that we call the warm front, which can kind of be a little squirrely. It comes and goes, and sometimes it can not be an equal opportunity rainfall today. I have left a 60% chance today. Now let's take a look at some of the data. Let's dive into, get into the weeds. How much rain would this projection be? It would be about a third by 5 o'clock today. And again, that might be generous because you're looking at Newport. If I'm looking at Sevierville, you're less than a tenth. So maybe there's far less rain in parts of the viewing area, while others might have exceeded a half inch, like Kingston, perhaps Crossville, and perhaps Jamestown by 5 o'clock this afternoon. But if we advance this clock, we go forward into the weekend. There's 7 a.m. Saturday. Now we're exceeding an inch, it would seem, in Oak Ridge and Anderson County. Maybe closer to a half inch in Morristown by this point in the clock and the calendar. So by the 18th, tomorrow morning, we may have picked up over a half inch in Knoxville. But by the end of the weekend, and again, it's predicated, Sunday's rains are predicated on the stalling of this feature, but if it moves on its merry way, there'll be very little rain on Sunday, but the bulk of it comes in, if not today and tonight, I think there's a better chance Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening, because by the time we hit the midnight hour, Saturday night into Sunday, it should start to wane. But this would suggest easily 1.4 in Kingston, 1.3 in Anderson County and Oak Ridge. That's just one solution. It's not necessarily going to be the way it plays out, but it could give us some guidance. It could give us a bit of a template of what to expect through 7 a.m. Sunday. And you can see the clock moves Sunday, but there's not much more to add to the rain gauge. Now, I do want to show you another solution. If that's Exhibit A, here's Exhibit B. Exhibit B shows very little rain in Newport, less than a tenth. We go into about Saturday afternoon. Let's take you there. Now we're exceeding a half inch to an inch in some spots as well. That's 7 o'clock Saturday, and so it goes. So there's some consistency in the data that we're still in that half inch to an inch range and could be locally higher. It's not going to trigger perhaps a flood watch. It's not going to trigger perhaps a flash flood warning. Unless things are slow moving, we'll be watching that with a very close eye. But that would suggest about an inch in Oneida and Jamestown as well. If you're playing the home game version, we have received now just under 5 inches of rain for the month. That occurred in the first 9 days. The first 9 days of May, and today's the 17th, so we've gone a whole week. Very little rain actually fell at the airport 2 days ago. But I think we'll add at least a half inch, maybe an inch in spots. That would put us up the ladder in terms of one of the top 10 wettest Mays. Maybe not reaching the top 10 this weekend, but we have still, 2 weeks or a little more than 2.5 weeks before we get to the end of May. We still have all of Memorial Day weekend at the end of the month, but we are now in the 31st spot, if our month were to end today. This would be the 31st wettest at 4.98. We moved up 11 spots from Monday to Tuesday. But if we get a couple more inches, that would be about 5, 6, 7 inches would put us in the top, most likely top 10 range over time. Still watching some comments from you. Shannon says, good morning from New Tazewell. Good morning, Shannon. Glad to say good morning to representing Claiborne County. Love you and love having you here. Tyler says good morning from Tellico Plains. And Carrie says good morning, be safe, have a great day and a weekend. Glad to have everyone. Lana Johnson saying good morning from Kodak. She's got her 2 virtual cups of coffee. Have a great day, everyone. Want you to stay dry. It's not going to be raining the whole time, but there will be the potential. And as far as the deficit and the drought, I'm going to cover that here in just mere moments. Let's talk about the 30-day precipitation deficits. Where you see some purple would suggest about 1/10 of an inch on the dry side. And really, there aren't too many areas that are dry. We could take you up to Tazewell, New Tazewell. There may be about 1/4 inch or more where they could use a little more rain, but this is how the 30-day precipitation deficit looks, and it's maybe a much worse situation across parts of Mississippi where they could actually use more rain. Where you see yellow and red, it would suggest 2 inches or more in the hole, so to speak. Now, the latest drought monitor came out yesterday, and interestingly enough, they have parts of Knox County abnormally dry. And you say, well, that's silly. That can't possibly be. Maybe there's something wrong with your map. Well, keep in mind, they keep into account so much more than just rainfall, but soil moisture. There's a lot of different parameters that they're looking at, but they do highlight Norris and Paulette and maybe Clinton under the moderate drought. So maybe these are the areas that could use a little more rain. They have Knoxville proper and Oak Ridge under the abnormally dry areas. and Riceville and Dayton and Decatur under a moderate drought. So say what you will about whether or not we want the rain, need the rain. This is how their latest drought monitor appears, and it looks like it's very dry, or has been, across parts of southern New Mexico and parts of Texas and even parts of Montana, showing some signs of red there. By the way, the storm energy, most of the nasty storms are in red. They'll be well to the south in places like Mississippi today. You can see that there's a low that's moving across to the far south. So if we get some energy enough to produce some thunder, it would probably not jump off the page here. There's a rumble of thunder maybe between now and 7 o'clock this evening. Maybe we see some of this energy split in two, and that's why I think there is that possibility. Some of it may be diverted to southeast Kentucky tonight, and another piece moving toward Chattanooga and Atlanta. Kind of like a parting of the ways. And if that's the case, that means your evening plans may be actually better than what was first anticipated. That's one way to look at it. But once we move into Saturday, and I think we'll get probably maybe as far as about 12:15 in the morning or a little bit later, you can see that spin associated with this low that's trying to form just south of Dunlap. There it is. It's trying to come in here. So we're going to have more energy perhaps as we move into Saturday, and that may also trigger a few more showers and storms. By the way, it's 6:51. Just want to say good morning to you. It is 63 right now in Oak Ridge, 59 in Sevierville, 58 in Newport. These are our current temperatures. Stephen Snyder, who's actually in Texas, says hopefully East Tennessee has no damaging storms this weekend. The video that he posted, Stephen, that he posted on the premium side was amazing. I mean, it was frightening just watching it. The way the trees and the winds just started howling, it was just amazing pictures. So, Stephen, thank you for sharing that. And if you want to share that in the David Aldrich Weather Group, I'm sure a lot of folks would be interested in seeing what you experienced yesterday. Everyone have a safe and blessed weekend, says Fred. And we mentioned that Lana Johnson also saying good morning from Kodak. Kodak should be generally in the low 60s starting off this morning. Morristown, Jeff City, around 61 this morning. There's not much wind to speak of here at 6:52. We have a 3-mile-an-hour wind. That's our current reading, and a lot of zeros, but it is sticky. It will constitute a bad hair day when you have low 60s across much of the area, upper 50s. This is probably not the best situation in terms of the humidity. If you're not a fan, it will feel like it's pretty sticky going into the weekend. And temperatures across the state vary from 58 Johnson City right now to 70 in Jackson, Tennessee, but only 62 in Jackson, Kentucky. So there's some variability from north, south, and east. Now, we did mention last night that we would be partly to mostly cloudy. And if you look at the last 6 hours, we've really clouded over. I mean, look, we had probably some stars if you took the dog out late last night, to suddenly like, man, I can't even see the sky, because all these blue clouds are the thicker clouds. They represent colder cloud tops, but we are clearly getting more in the way of cloudiness, and that's basically featured across much of this of East Tennessee. Where the rain may be overlaid, and it's coming in very lightly at this point, is trying to fill in across parts of the plateau. But there'll be some waves of this throughout the day. By the way, 6:53 right now. The sun's up and did come up at 6:29, just like yesterday. That time did not change, and our sun still sets at 8:36. These minutes will change very slowly, but they will get longer as we get into the month of June. Obviously, with the bus stop forecast, there will be a few drops of rain if you're in the plateau. Should be a dry arrival into school this morning if you're in Knox County, points east, but temperature should be about 69 by 10, 74 by 2, and between 2 and, say, 3:30, a very popular pickup time in the afternoon. We should generally be in the low to mid-70s. I have us at 76 for Newport, 76 for Tellico Plains and Madisonville, and 74 for Maryville, Alcoa, Knoxville. Here are the headlines if you're just joining us. I have showers and storms today. Maybe fewer storms and more showers, but there will be another round, a surge, with the approaching cold front Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. So showers and storms on Saturday, and then some leftover showers on Sunday. What was dependent on the rain on Sunday was this system slowing down and stalling. If it doesn't stall, it keeps on moving on its merry little way, then there will be less rain on Sunday. And that seems to be where the data would suggest us now. I had us at 60%. Going to probably keep it at 40% chance of rain for Sunday. So Sunday might actually turn out to be nice as we make a run toward 80 degrees now Sunday afternoon. Right now we have 64 degrees at the airport. Winds are kind of out of the north-northeast at 3 miles per hour, and we have a relative humidity at 90%, dew points at 61. Here's the Valley Planner with a mainly gray sky, about a 60% chance of showers and storms, Average high now is 79. We should be about 5 degrees below that mark today. That's what I expect this afternoon. If you got some notes, just a footnote, pollen count should be a little bit lower this weekend. It's like a Band-Aid. It's not going to make the pollen disappear, but grass pollen is rising rapidly. We're in that heart of grass season. Tree pollen is coming down a little bit, but it's just academic. If your allergies are bothering you now, they may not get much better when it rains, but sometimes that can help. Monda Post says, David, are there going to be a lot of hurricane names? I imagine there will be. We've talked a little bit about that. In fact, we talked about that in great detail about more than a month ago on my premium site. So if you want to join us, you could probably find those posts if you search for them. If you're on the premium side or want to sample us, just hit the subscribe button at the top of this Facebook page. I would love to have you join us. By the way, precipitation chances, I have an 80% tomorrow. I've lowered Sunday to 40%, but I do think the best days of the week should be Monday and Tuesday of next week before we bring in another round of showers and storms on Wednesday. So there are going to be some days, Monday, Tuesday, when we reach into the lower to mid 80s. Yesterday was 81, grant you that, but I think if we make it into about 84, maybe an 85 degree range for Tuesday, that'll be something a lot of folks will be probably smiling and enjoying as they get that garden more ready for the season. By the way, Storm Prediction Center, oh yes, there are some colors. Maybe not the orange numerous, but there are some scattered severe storms in yellow and hot spots and places you probably don't always expect it. I mean, do you really think that North and South Dakota, for example, and I've done it again. Look at that. You did that again. I did it yesterday, and I thought I fixed it, but apparently my saving feature did not work. I'm going to do it on the fly because I think some of you will appreciate this being more accurate because that's your namesake. Let's just put today here. There we go. So for today and tonight, there are some possibilities of getting some severe weather in the Dakotas. I mean, I know that's not where you usually think the severe weather will be, but that seemingly is where it's going to be. Let's take you up there. We're talking about North and South Dakota, just north of Rapid City. If you've ever been up there, which I have not, but for those who've been up in maybe Big Sky country of Montana, it's beautiful. But they've got the possibility of scattered severe storms there, and it will continue across the deep south. We're looking at New Orleans, just south of Houston for an isolated severe storm in dark green. That would include Corpus Christi and maybe parts of Florida and South Georgia, but it's places like Mobile, New Orleans, and Baton Rouge that might get some scattered severe storms today. Could we get some thunder in Tennessee? Absolutely. Every square mile of Tennessee is painted light green for general thunderstorms today. It's not going to be severe, but you might say, well, if it rains on my house, it's 100% chance of rain, it's severe. It may not be severe, but certainly a thunderstorm could scare the cat or put the dog under the desk or bed. I do know that can happen, and even in the Aldrich household. My dog does not like thunder. By the way, there's a little patch of dark green in parts of the UP of Michigan and Wisconsin for Saturday, that dark green area there. But most of the energy from the storms in Texas, Louisiana, moved toward Georgia and the Carolinas and North Florida on Saturday. We do not have any risk for severe weather here. It would appear from Savannah to Charleston, that's where there could be some scattered severe storms for Saturday. So that's if you're traveling. Again, thunderstorms still a good bet on Saturday, especially as that cold front begins to approach. And last but not least, there's still some thunder potentially in Knoxville Sunday, but again, predicated or dependent on how quickly this system exits. We may see an improving condition of the sky on Sunday. But the severe risk on Sunday seems like it's in the heartland, in the middle of the country, from Kansas to sections of Nebraska, maybe even isolated in parts of Oklahoma on Sunday afternoon. So that's the way things break down on the severe risk. By the way, the futurecast, this kind of paints a little bit of a different picture than the next map I'm going to show you closer in, but this does paint some rain right through the heart of Knox County by 8, 9 o'clock, and then it lifts. See what I mean? It splits. You got some energy moving to southeast Kentucky. You got other pieces of energy moving between, say, Huntsville, Chattanooga, and Atlanta. And if that splits, if you've ever gone bowling, think of it as like a 7-10 split. Kind of splits like in this direction. That's a possibility. And some of that energy may not actually make it to your house. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's why I say some will get very little rain. Some may get too much for what you ordered. By Saturday, it starts to show signs of this low pressure system and its trailing cold front sliding across. Wraparound moisture comes in on Sunday, but look how quickly now it's trying to leave, right? That's 7:15 Sunday morning, and it's seemingly mostly gone because it's now centered near Charlotte and maybe into Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. So maybe some rain, obviously, on Sunday, but the better improved day will be Monday, and possibly, I know, expect to have a beautiful day on Tuesday. So something to look forward there as well. By the way, it's 7 o'clock. Let me get to the forecast. Here's another look at how this may play out. 9:30, you could still see some light rain, Morristown, Greenville. By 12 noon today, there's still hit or miss showers. Notice how this is breaking up, right? We don't have a whole lot of rain for the drive home. There's 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock. It's mainly in southeast Kentucky. And I know what some of you, well, that's good. Keep it up there because I'm trying to get home from work. I don't need rain to work through. There's 5 a.m. Saturday. More energy from La Follette, Middlesboro to Oneida. And then it really gets active on Saturday afternoon because look at all the colors here. All that red would suggest thunder. Saturday evening, it may look like this. There's 8. There's 9. It's coming down in buckets, right? We've got a much rainier outlook for Saturday evening. There's 11 o'clock and so on. So there will be some opportunities for rain on Saturday as well. But today, a high of 74. Finishing up here at 7:01, mainly gray with showers and storms, about a 60% chance. 76 for Tellico Plains, 70 for Crossville. Traveling today to the Tri-Cities, they should be around 77. 80 for Greensboro and about 83 for Augusta, Georgia, if you're on the road. 63 tonight, that's pretty sticky. Yeah, showers and storms may split. There may not be as much as in first anticipated, but patches of fog will likely be in its place if, in fact, it's not raining where you are. 60 for low in Oneida, 60 degrees in Greenville, 59 for Crossville in the heart of Cumberland County. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville and East Tennessee. 77 for Saturday, like that. 70, or actually 80 now for Sunday. And notice the low to mid 80s Monday and Tuesday. So if it brings a smile to your face that we've got some dry weather next week, unfortunately, it's not happening on the weekend. It's happening on the days after the weekend. But sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. 82 on Monday, 84 Tuesday, and then some other rounds of showers and storms coming in on Wednesday. Got a couple of notes from you. Kelly says, good morning. Thank you for keeping us updated. My pleasure. Danny saying, good morning, David. Hope you have a great day. Go Vols. Hashtag Go Big Orange. I know that Danny's going to be excited about the weekend, as we all are. And by the way, if you are needing more weather information, I would encourage you to download my free, did you say free? Yeah, my free Captain Accurate Weather app with Pete Michaels. Traffic, get all the National Weather Service alerts, plus 3 extras that you won't find anywhere else. They're unique to Barron, and it's free. You get the Tornado Index from Barron. That gives you a scale of probability of like a 0 to 10. Like a 7, 8, or 9 means there's probably a tornado on the ground, and that's very helpful to know. And it comes to your phone as needed. It's not something you just search for. It'll search you out with a notification. I've got to love that. And also, if you want to join us on Premium, we go beyond the next 7 days. Some of us need to know or would like to know what's going on for Memorial Day. And we've been diving into that day by day. Saturday's forecast, the expectations for Sunday, Memorial Day. If that's of interest to you, there's no better time than join us on Captain Accurate Premium. Simply go to hit the subscribe button at the top of this Facebook page. It's only 16 cents a day or $4.99 a month. You're also the first to get every forecast. Sometimes that could be 30 minutes. That could be an hour or 2 hours before it's posted on the app and online. You also get more Facebook Lives typically on a Sunday to help you plan for the week ahead. And you get fewer ads on Captain Accurate Premium. So I think you'll love that. It's 2 streams of information. I'm averaging about 15 to 20 posts per day. So if it's 16 cents a day, you're doing 15. That's like a penny a post or less in some cases, the way this all works itself out. But I'm very thankful for you. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay dry and make sure you pack the umbrella. Just like Wanda said, make sure maybe it's in the car. We'll see you here. My name is David Aldridge. We'll see you here next time. Take care.